Hey guys, so it's Friday the 20th of March and it is almost 5 o'clock and I'm sitting in Bolero up in a town called Zafra. And now it's been, the reason I'm sitting inside, and if it looks a bit dark, I'm a bit wrapped up, is become Storm Teresa, the 19th named storm to hit Spain this season. Hit us yesterday evening. And we had torrential rain last night and high winds. I actually woke up, I could feel the van moving in the wind. And the forecast is for more of it today and into tomorrow. So I've continued to follow the route north. And I come to that to explain what I'm doing maybe when I get to the end of the video. But I'm actually on the Camino de la Plata, and some people call it the Silver Way, because as in Plata plate, but in fact it comes from the Arabic from the time of the caliphs here, when it was called the route of cobblestones, and that in turn came from the Romans. So this was a military and an export and a military route up through Spain that was cobblestoned, and hence its name. And that's what I'm on the moment. And you'll see as I go through the week how I ended up here and on this route. So let's jump in and start straight away with last Saturday, and I'll work my way to Friday and then I'll tell you what's happening. Hey guys, so I'm in Portugal. It is 10:30 almost on Saturday morning, and I went to little place Istanila, I think it's called, yesterday. I drove away from the port in Huelva, and I camped there for the night, right down again beside the beach, in a park for night spot I saw, and there were half a dozen campers there. I didn't really speak to anybody. I went up to a little cafe and I had a couple of glasses of white wine, and I had a cheese and serrano ham sandwich, a little salad, and then I came back and read for a while and went to bed and had a good night's sleep. So this morning I got up, made my cup of tea, which I still have here and I haven't drunk yet. Excuse me. I made my cup of tea and I drove over to here. And just as I crossed the Portuguese Spanish border, this beautiful rainbow appeared, and I drove right up towards the rainbow. So I got a photo of it, and I hope it comes out okay. So I took that as a lucky sign, and then I drove up to this little town where I am now, and I'm not sure what it's called, Santa Barbara de Nex, something like that. And I filled up with diesel, and the diesel here is between 191 and 199 a litre. So boy, what a jump. It was as high as 188 I saw in Spain, but was usually around 177. So big jump to here. But I topped up the tank anyway, and I gave the van a wash. Found a lovely car wash, there you go, wash. I found a little Spar supermarket. I stocked up with some bits and pieces of food, and yeah, and so here I am. So the reason I'm here is because there's a nice walk here. So I'm using, I bought these guides, walking in the Algarve and walking in Portugal. These are the Cicerone guides, and I downloaded all those maps before I left. I think I may have mentioned that already in a previous video. And so I picked one, number 4 actually, walk number 4 in walking in the Algarve, and I am going to do that today. So I've arrived, I parked up, I'm going to go and have my walk shortly. I think it's about 10k and about I don't know how many, few hundred meters of ascent. So I'll do my walk now, come back, have my shower and have some food. And I'm in no rush, I'm not going anywhere much. I'm not sure if I'll camp up here or if I go down to Faro. Faro is just south of me, like half an hour, not even 20 minutes south of me. So I might go down to there, we'll see. I'll make up my mind when I've had my walk and had my food. There's nothing much happening here. This is really the one horse town. Yeah, so I'll make up my mind afterwards. So I'll talk to you after my walk. Hey guys, so it is, let me just check, 5:30 on Sunday afternoon, and you can see where I'm parked up here. And I had a wonderful walk today. So I drove from where I was to just a place to the west of Faro, and right down beside the beach, sort of beside the sand dunes, probably a better way to describe it. But there's a linear park there that runs for literally kilometres and kilometres and kilometres. It's just a huge park, and it's a nature reserve with a lot of birds, a lot of wildlife, a lot of birds. So they've built all these boardwalks through it. So I came down yesterday evening to it and parked up, made some food. So in fact, probably the latest I've eaten, because I did that bigger than anticipated walk on Saturday. It was actually late when I drove over, so probably around 6 o'clock. I fried up a load of chicken drumsticks and chicken wings, and had a big salad with it. And I don't think it was a good idea, and actually a fair few glasses of wine. And I don't think it was a good idea because I slept really poorly. I'm not used to eating in the evening. I normally eat when I come back from my walk, have my shower, do whatever. So maybe 1 o'clock I'm eating my main meal, or I might have a snack in the evening. So I was awake half the night, a terminal night's sleep. So anyway, I got up this morning and did the walk. And what a spectacular walk. About 15 or 16 kilometres, can't remember exactly. And 16 kilometres I think, and about 2.5 hours. So some of it was on this boardwalk, some of it was along a beach. Walking on a beach was really hard going. The sand along here is this beautiful golden sand, but super light, and you just sink down into it. So I did 2 or 3 kilometres along the beach, maybe about 3 kilometres, maybe 4, and it nearly killed me. But I got back up on the boardwalk again, and then I walked through this old fishing village, and people still live there in like really small little houses with corrugated sort of asbestos type or concrete type corrugated roofs. And then came back up by the main bridge over the estuary and walked back up. Everybody was out. The walkers, the runners, the cyclists, moms pushing prams, dad pushing prams. The world and its mother was out. It was actually incredible. Hundreds of people walking. It's amazing the difference when the sun is shining, when it's nice. So I had a lovely walk. Really enjoyed it. It's a bit longer than I'd anticipated, but it was what it was. And it's good to get out and burn up some calories after all those chicken wings. So I had my shower and made some food. I had a lovely smoked salmon salad, and with coleslaw and rocket and lovely lettuce. Actually lovely. That's all I sort of eat is salads and sandwiches. I cook up eggs every now and again. I cook up some of the chicken wings maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks. So I sort of eat cold food pretty much all the time, and I like it. It sort of suits the weather. And then I drove over to here. So there's 2 parts of this town. I drove over to here because of a lovely coastal walk here I want to do. And but there are 2 parts of this town. The old town, which I drove through for look, and it looks really touristy, full of people, full of action. And then out here. So the walk that I want to do actually starts in there at the marina, which is probably about 1 kilometre or 1.5 kilometres from the town centre. And I'm about probably another kilometre or 1.5 kilometres out from there. So I'll be starting probably 2 or 3 kilometres into the walk. But of course, it's a linear walk on the cliffs. You can walk forever. So I'll probably walk out 7 to 10k, turn around and walk back tomorrow morning. So I came here, parked up, and I went to had my food and went to the beach. And it was lovely. Just lay down on the beach and chilled. And I was going to go for a dip, but the water was, I got a sense it was a real undercurrent. The water came crashing in. You could see foam pulling out, and there was nobody else in swimming. So I thought maybe I should gain, what's the word I look for? Better safe than sorry. No point not breaking a leg in the mountains and then drowning in the sea. So that's sort of it. I'm here and I'm going to have a snack now and a glass of wine and read for the evening, and then go for my walk in the morning. So talk to you tomorrow. Cheers, guys. Hey guys, 12:17, just afternoon on Monday, and I parked here in the same spot. There you go. That's where I parked yesterday, and you saw it in the video. The spot I actually parked on. I'm just up from had my showers, had a shower and shave after a swim, and a lovely hike. So interesting hike. About I think 8.5 kilometers. I think about 170 meters of ascent, and just over 2 hours, 2 hours 10, 2 hours 15, something like that. And when I think of a coastal walk, I normally think of something walking along the cliff edges, lovely views and whatever. And you had that in this one, but boy, it was a tough walk. It was literally up and down, up and down. You can see here on the record from my all trails. See the peaks, up and down, just up and down. And some of it was actually scrambling, like serious scrambling. I had to drop down the poles a couple of times and climb down. I had to throw up the poles and climb up. Some of it was really hard. And yesterday, when I parked up here and I was having some food or whatever, a group of elderly people, well, probably my age, but a group of elderly people pulled up there beside me after doing the walk. Just arrived here. They all sat on the steps over there, and they all look absolutely knackered. And now I know why. It was a really hard walk. Don't be fooled by the 170 meters. It was literally up and down, and really hard climbing. I don't know how. You want to be super fit. You want to be really fit and really strong, and you want to have a lot of courage, because a lot of stuff where you were literally going down very steep, almost like a straight drop, and we're jumping down a few rocks to get down, maybe 15-20 feet drops. So it was it wasn't for the faint of heart, but the views were lovely, and lovely beaches, and yeah, it's amazing to see all the erosion in the rocks. And interesting also, I'd love to know the geology of this area, because you can see all the seashells calcified in the rock, and it's all very strange the way it's eroded and whatever. And yes, I just wonder, like all these things, it was once flat and now it's up like this, and geology is amazing. The idea that the planet is alive and that it moves and shifts over extended periods of time is really quite amazing. So now I'm going to make myself some food. I have no idea where I'm going to go or what I'm going to do next. I've really enjoyed it here. This has been lovely. I'd like to go into the old town and look around. I may or may not do it. It's very difficult to go in the van. You take Bolero in and you end up parking like a couple of kilometers outside the town to find a space, and then you're never sure it's safe because it's sort of out there in some sort of a remote car park all on its own. I like to have people around. When there's people around, the van is safe. So I'm not sure exactly what I do. I may hang around here. I may go further up the coast. Lovely day, nice breeze, just enough to keep you cool, and sun is shining, and the forecast for this week is good. So fingers crossed. Cheers, guys. Hey guys, hope I find you all well. Happy St. Patrick's Day. So I celebrated with a lovely hike this morning. So you can see where I am, where I'm located. And this is not where I planned to be. But yesterday as I went along the coast trying to find somewhere to park up, there's a lot of erosion here on the coast, and these sort of caves have been created. And apparently they're quite a feature, and people come from miles around to see them. So the few places I was going to stop on the way were all chockers and big signs up saying no campers. I didn't see any sign of any campers. So I continued on, and eventually I found this little spot. So I pulled up down here yesterday afternoon, somewhere around lunchtime. And I thought it was lunchtime. So I waited a while till lunch would be over, and I went down to this little coffee shop restaurant on the beach. And I sat down. It was jammers, and about 1 o'clock and 1:30 got really, really busy. And by 2 o'clock, I mean, there were people hanging from the rafters. And I thought, this is like really, really strange. Normally I would have thought, or by 3 o'clock I should say, normally I would have thought they'd have eaten earlier, blah, 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 blah. And thought no more about it anyway. So I had, until this morning, I noticed that my car clock was different from my watch and my phone. I didn't realise that Portugal is an hour earlier than Spain. So when I got up this morning, I was up very early. I was up at 6, and I was starting sleeping soon. I'm getting used to staying in bed till 7:30, 8 o'clock even. But anyway, yesterday evening, so I went down to the little cafe, and I had 2 glasses of wine and a little thing of crisps, or not crisps, chips. That was €20. So they've European prices down here on these fancy restaurants on the beach. Not Portuguese prices, they've got Dublin prices. But I chatted to a lovely English couple, really, really nice couple. He was, well, I say English, British. She's English of Irish extraction, living in London, Jenny, and he was a Welsh. So we talked about politics and life and the usual things. But it was nice to have a bit of company and to chat to somebody in English. We were surrounded by Americans, and you know, it was sort of funny. Yeah, they're a funny bunch. Let's just leave it at that. They're a funny bunch. So I got a good night's sleep, a reasonably good night's sleep, and I went off this morning for my hike. And I did this coastal walk again, about 12k, I think, about maybe 350, 375 meters of ascent, something like that, and maybe about 2.5 hours, something like that. It was a lovely walk actually, even though there were a couple of detours where I had to go onto the road around hotels and things because the whole cliff had collapsed. They've had a lot of coastal erosion here just recently, apparently, in the last year. I think there's a few big storms, and you can see a whole huge section. I mean, we're talking about huge pieces have just collapsed down into the ocean, and then you can see all the cliff face all new and fresh. But the walk was lovely, even though there was more ascent and descent, obviously, than yesterday. It was quite different. There was no scrambling. There were some steep enough climbs, but again, with the poles, I just powered up them. So there was no parking the poles and climbing up on my hands and my knees, you know, like there was yesterday. So that was sort of lovely. So I enjoyed the walk. Very, very windy. And you can see here, this girl. I leave I'll just play it now, and I'll leave the sound on. I just wanted to leave the sound on there so you could actually hear the wind. There was a gale blowing up there, and this girl I saw walking out this very, very narrow little, I don't know what you call it, just a piece of cliff going out there, maybe, I don't know, 2 meters wide, and went out for about 20-30 meters, and she went right out, filming herself walking out. And I actually stopped, and the reason I stopped and filmed her, I stopped and watched her because I was afraid, genuinely afraid she'd be blown off because the wind was howling. But anyway, she made it back safely, so I didn't have to dive down the cliffs and into the ocean to save her. But yeah, so nice walk. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do now. The weather forecast for the next couple of days isn't great, and but again, I don't trust the forecast down here at all. It never seems to transpire. So I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to actually take the van now, and I'm going to drive further up the coast and find somewhere to park up. Somewhere nice and comfortable, just in case, and somewhere beside a town ideally, just in case the weather is bad for the next couple of days, so that I can sort of chill. Also, I was tired today on the walk. I felt it in my legs, so I might actually take a day off tomorrow, and for a change, you know. So if the weather's bad, it might be a good excuse to take a day off and maybe bum around the town, sit in the cafe, and maybe drink some Guinness. Oh, I saw a pub, Scully's. Couldn't believe it. So I walked through this little town. It was a beautiful town. They had these lovely tiles, and they painted all birds and the flora and the fauna of the area on them, and glazed them and set them into the concrete. So they were set into all the piers as I walked up through the town. All these piers for the railing on the coast. It's not really nicely done, so it was. But down the bottom of the hill was a pub, a big sign for Guinness, a pub called Scully's. So, but it was a bit early in the day for a pint of Guinness, even for St. Patrick's Day. So, yeah, so that's it. So I'm going to move on and find somewhere to park up for tonight. All is good, guys. Happy St. Paddy's Day. Hey, guys. Good to talk to you. So it is Wednesday, the 18th. And you can see it's almost 8 o'clock my time. And you can see where I'm sitting, about 40 kilometers north of Seville. That might surprise you. So let me explain how I got here. So on St. Patrick's Day, I had my walk, and you saw the video there. And I decided that I would move from there and just go somewhere else. So I went up, drove up away from that lovely spot, and wandered along the coast a bit. And as I wandered along, the weather disimproved and kept disimproving. And so I parked up for a while, and I looked and saw what was the weather looking like for the next few days. And I know I said last week that I wasn't going to allow anything to deflect me from moving over to Portugal and experiencing Portugal and all the rest of it. Well, that was the rope I gave you to hang me with, wasn't it? Because I went back to Spain. So I turned around and I drove, we got to 300 kilometres, just got on the motorway in 2.5 hours, I think, or 3 hours, and just drove over to Seville. And I parked up in a lovely spot, actually. Maybe about 20-minute walk from the cathedral in Seville. So I parked out on the edge, beside a lovely park and beside a filling station and a little car parking area. And it was perfect, very safe, very secure. And I slept like a baby. So I drove there yesterday, and I didn't really do anything much. I just sort of chilled. And I decided that today I would have a day off and do a walk of Seville. So I think I did about 15k actually, as it turns out, walking around Seville. But I took the day off and went to Seville. And then this evening, I had a call with Niall, actually, my brother. And we were chatting away, and I asked him, what do you think I should do? I told him I'm trying to balance the weather, nice walks, and somewhere to park, somewhere to stay. And where I had facilities, And he just said, go with the weather. So I took his advice and decided I would stay around the Seville area, and that I would find a half decent walk. So I drove up this spot up here. Now let me tell you about Seville. What a wonderful, wonderful city. Absolutely beautiful city. I really, really liked it. Very upmarket. Very, very nice. There were loads. I've made a little list here of the things that I wanted to see. Let me just read them out to you so I don't forget about it. So I wanted to go to Algarve, the old, what do you call it, sort of fort in the centre of it. I wanted to see the cathedral and the Giraldo. I wanted to go to the archives of their empire. I wanted to go to the Jewish quarter and a couple of other bits and pieces. The only thing I got to see really was the Jewish quarter, which I walked up and down, which was lovely. All the rest I saw, and you can see them here, videos of them. I saw them all from the outside because you couldn't get into any of them, and you couldn't get in because everything's booked up. And I suppose a few observations. So the first one was, one of the problems with tourism is that there are too many people, and so you can't get into anything. Everything. When I went to one of them, and she said, "Oh, so it's booked up for weeks." So I mean, you go to visit a city, but you can't see anything. The second thing is there were huge groups. If I met one tour group with a guide walking around, I met 100, clogging up all these little narrow streets. It was really, I didn't like it. The third, of course, that's me in the mountains, me liking being out in the countryside and out in the mountains and out doing my own thing. And the third thing just follows on from that. And I said it tonight when I was chatting to him earlier. I never feel lonely when I'm out in the mountains. I feel alone for sure, and I sort of like that. But I never feel lonely because it's just me up there in the mountains or in a little village somewhere, whatever. But I actually felt lonely today in Seville. I was wandering around on my own. I had a pizza and I had a glass of wine. I had a small little beer in another place. I just sort of bummed around and wandered around on my own. And everybody else was with somebody, either in a group or a couple. And I don't think I saw a single person, not one person. I mean, kids, young women and young men, yeah. But you mean, of my age group, I didn't see a single person that I could chat to. It was like, it wasn't, I didn't enjoy it, actually. I found it was the first time now on the trip I felt, I felt a bit alone, felt a bit lonely. And that was sort of interesting. And I think it's just having all those people around me and seeing everybody having a good time and everybody chatting with everybody and laughing and joking and me sort of sitting there looking at my navel. So that was sort of an interesting learning for me. But so I'm going to hang around this area and I'm going to just do a few easy walks. I think I enjoyed the day off, even though I walked about 15k, but I walked 15k in like 1k and 2k pieces, then you stop and I bought a new pair of sunglasses, so and it's really funny, make you laugh. So I bought a lovely pair of Ray-Bans, the aviators, like the ones I used to have. So really nice ones and really expensive, of course. And but I wanted a pair of comfortable, good, comfortable sunglasses, and I liked these ones before. And when I bought them, I mentioned the guy that I had a pair already that I bought previously, but that they were too tight on me here and whatever. And of course I bought and paid for these at this stage. And he said, "Oh, that's no problem. Do you have them?" And I said, "Yeah, I have them here with me." He said, "Give them to me." And he put this like a hot air gun on them and bent everything, made them all fit me perfectly. But at this stage I bought and paid for them because they were like, "I'm going to give you those back." So now I've got two pairs of glasses. But anyway, yeah, I had a lovely day in Seville. I really enjoyed the city. I thought it was a beautiful city. I enjoyed walking around, but found the crowds a bit daunting and felt, as I say, quite alone. I also mentioned tonight, I'm almost 7 weeks on the road now and I'm beginning to feel it. I'm beginning to feel a bit tired, and I would like to somewhere I could park up now for a week where with people I knew and just sleep in a full bed and have a normal shower and a normal toilet and a normal whatever, normal sink. We're not worried about how much water you're using, just and a bit of space, a bit more space. I think I would like that right now. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to resolve that. We'll see. So it's only Wednesday. I have a couple more days left in my week, Thursday and Friday, before the end of the week, before I make a decision what I'm going to do next. I'm not going back to the rain and the cold for sure, but I need to decide what I am going to do, where I am going to go. So that's sort of my update for Wednesday, the 18th of February. I hope everybody's well. I'm in great form, feeling good, feeling strong, and enjoying the trip. Talk to you soon. Cheers, guys. Hey guys, good morning. It is Thursday morning, about 8:30, and you can see where I've driven to. I've driven up to this place, Almaden de la Plata, from where I was last night. You can see there on the map, little town down the right. And the reason I've done this is because I've decided I'm going to follow a little bit of this Camino. And it was absolutely wonderful this morning as I drove out of that town to see all the pilgrims. So last night when I arrived, and I stocked up with water, did all my usual things, and I went for a quick walk around the town, and I saw some people heading back up towards where I was camped up. I said to myself, they can't all be going to campers. There's only 2 other campers besides me there. And then I saw this lady going into what looked like an albergue. And sure enough, this morning I saw the sign there. So I said, I wonder, is this the Camino? So, so I've decided I'm going to do a bit of this. So what I've done is I've driven up the next town. I'm going to walk halfway back and walk back to here. And I'm parked up right outside. You can see there, right outside the albergue. And just to have a walk that makes sort of sense for me at the moment. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to head off now, and I'll talk to you later when I get back. Hey guys, so it is 12:37 and I'm back. And what an absolutely beautiful walk. So I did about 21k and 520 meters or something, or 530 meters of ascent, and did it in just over 3 hours. So I hiked out and I ran back. I ran down the hills, I ran the flats, and I walked up the hills. Absolutely beautiful. And not just the trail, but I met pilgrims doing the Camino, and I chatted to them, and that was like really nice. When I was driving out this morning and I saw them walking along the side of the road, I had a tear in my eye. It really sort of brought back all the memories of the walk with Ellie, and how much I loved that, and how much I loved being with her on that walk. It was just so special for me. And so brought it all back, and I was feeling very emotional actually when I pulled up here at the albergue. So I headed off and I did the walk, and I'm back. And very, very pleased with this. Very pleased. So tomorrow, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to either walk, stay here tonight, we'll see it, I don't know yet, and walk halfway out again or walk out 10k or whatever, and run back the 10k, and then drive up the next town and do the other half. I mean, if you did it this way, actually, you'd be doing the Camino double up. You'd be doing it's 900 kilometers, so you'd be doing the 1800 kilometers. But it was lovely. I'm so pleased, and I'm so pleased to be on the Camino. It's just so lovely. Big change. So Niall calling me and John Brady called me a day before that, and I was in a little bit of an uncomfortable place with myself. Wasn't quite sure what I was doing. The walks weren't exciting, and I was feeling a bit lonely. And this is sort of rejuvenates me, like being back on the Camino, being back on a trail that goes on and on and on, and meeting people. Just so good. So I'm waiting for the water to heat up and go to my shower. The next town I go to, whether I go up tonight or go up tomorrow, has a laundrette. So I will do all my laundry. I'll do a big laundry tomorrow, wash everything, sheets and everything, and all my gear. Everything's beginning to smell. So I'm going to have a cup of tea now, read the paper, wait for the water to heat up, have my shower, and then decide what I'm going to do next. All good, guys. So that brings me to today, guys, to Friday. So I went for a nice hike this morning. I got up and it was very wet here, so we had the storm, as I mentioned, and I wasn't sure I'd get out at all. So I actually had breakfast. I think the first time in a long time I had breakfast. I toasted up some baguette that was there and had it with butter and marmalade and a cup of peppermint tea. It was wonderful. But I waited, and somewhere around maybe 9:30 or something, at 10 o'clock I said, it looks bright enough, the rain has stopped. I thought the ground mightn't be too bad, and I thought I'd give it a chance. So I geared up and off I went. And what a lovely, lovely walk it was. Absolutely beautiful. And there is something special about walking these Caminos. There's no doubt about it. Seeing the signs, walking along trails, seeing other footmarks, other footprints of people who've gone out early in the morning. I assume they all went out in the rain. It's just sort of wonderful. I really enjoyed it. So I went out about 7.5k and walked back. So out and back, 7.5 out, 7.5 back. Did 15k, and really, really lovely, lovely walk. And got back, had my shower, and no, sorry, I didn't have my shower. I got back and I decided what would I do. I said, well, I'll go to the next town and then I can walk back tomorrow. So I drove up to the next town, and talk about a one-horse town. This place was it must be the centre of the pig industry of Spain. Oh, God almighty. You had to see this place, guys. I won't even mention the name, but I don't embarrass anybody. But you had to see the state of it. And so anyway, I said, no, I think I'll keep going. And I drove to where I am now, to this little town. And I parked up here, and I'm going to go and do some of the walk tomorrow. Walk out of here again on the Camino and do a bit of a trek. So, all is good. There's not really much to do here. The town is supposed to be lovely. It's supposed to be sort of a very small but interesting town. A lot of Renaissance type architecture apparently in it, and I'd like to see it. But the weather is still very dodgy. Although it's bright enough at the moment, it's still very dodgy. But I might run a risk and head downtown, have a look-see. So, all is good, and nothing more to report. A great week, and I think I'm going to follow this Camino, guys. I think I'm going to follow it up and not worry too much about the weather. Just follow the Camino and work my way back up through Spain as I follow it, and then decide when I'm going to come back. And this sort of has given me a little bit of direction on the trip. As I said earlier, I was getting a little bit lost, and just going from one place to another, to having a hike. I don't know, it just didn't feel right anymore. Whereas this sort of, the idea of following along a predetermined walk where there's other people, and where you just know other people have walked there in front of you, and there's a sense of, I don't know what it is, a sense of being part of something. I sort of like it. So I think I'm going to continue doing this for the next few days and see how it goes. So that's it, guys. I hope everybody's well. I'm good. All is good. And I'll talk to you all soon. Cheers.